Me, Vanellope again. This time I'm doing Fiction Friday. And it is Friday, so I'm gonna be filming this video today, editing it today, and putting it on YouTube today, which is fine because I can do it really easily and really quickly from my phone. So, I've read this story before. I'm not super excited about reading it again. I didn't write this fan fiction. So, warning, BDSM, enema, choking. If you don't know what an enema is, it's like a butt cleaning process, I guess. Anyway, so we got this fan fiction here. It's pretty gross. So I guess if you guys don't want to hear this, then just don't watch this video. So, and if you have little kids, you might not want to let them listen to this either. Okay, here we go. This is the Milk fan fiction, which is E. Anthony, and here we go. Ian was kneeling in the bathtub, a towel under his knees and another under his hands. His head turned as he craned his neck to watch Anthony working. The younger boy swirled the spoon around in the overlarge bowl before tapping it against the rim and laying it on the counter. "You know it'll cool down a little once I get it in the bag, but is that good?" Anthony bent over next to the tub so Ian could slowly dip 2 fingers into the bowl, nodding once. "It's fine." Anthony nodded again, reaching out to stroke Ian's hair before standing back up and returning to the sink, where all of the equipment was spread out. The hook was already hanging from the shower curtain, so Anthony could hang the bag as soon as it was full. "Go ahead and take the plug out, baby." His voice was soft, gentle. "And start with your fingers." It was the gentlest of their darker interludes. No name-calling or hair-pulling, or punishments for noises of pain. It hurt enough on its own, was degrading enough on its own. Anthony didn't need to add anything to that. Anthony felt a small tremor run through his body as he heard a soft moan from the bathtub. He knew the other boy had just extracted the plug. He glanced up at the mirror, watching the boy set the glass plug on the edge of the tub next to the bottle of lubricant. Ian picked up the bottle, desperate to film himself as he opened it, dripping some of the lubricant onto his fingers and rubbing them. It was cold to the initial touch, but warmed up as his fingers moved. "You're so fucking hot like that, baby," Anthony purred from the sink where the bag was nearly half full. "Now go ahead." Ian flushed warm from the compliment, his wrist sliding down along his waist, hip bone, the curve of his ass, and then his fingers were poised, resting against his entrance before pressing in. He was already loose from the plug, so it was an easy intrusion. He didn't even bother with more lubricant before pressing a 3rd finger in, moaning outright at the stretch. He started as he heard the click from Anthony hanging in the bag. "Already? Don't sound so disappointed," the boy chided softly. "You can keep your fingers in for a second." He almost added a soft slut, but stopped himself. Anthony leaned down, reaching for the bottle of lubricant, letting himself hover over Ian for a moment, his breath tickling the back of the boy's neck. "Just think about everything I'll do after," he whispered, before straightening back up and slicking lube across the tip of the nozzle on his own fingers. "Okay." Ian whined, but slowly pulled his fingers out anyway. He wasn't empty for longer than a few seconds, Anthony's finger immediately sliding over his opening before pressing in, then pulling out to press in the tip of the nozzle. "Breathe," he murmured, fingers running down the boy's spine. "I'm going to now, okay?" "Wait," Ian choked out. "I'm going to now," Anthony repeated, voice a little harder this time. "You're fine." He kept his fingers running along the boy's spine as he loosened the clamp. Ian bit his bottom lip, moaning as he felt the first rush of warm milk sliding into his body. The beginning of the enema was always like Anthony's fingers were now, smooth and soft almost. The cramps would come soon enough, but Anthony's fingers would still be the same. When they started, One of Ian's hands flew up to his stomach, and Anthony stopped the flow without a word, letting the other boy massage his abdomen to ease the pain. "Just tell me." "Okay," Ian whispered, his hand still on his stomach. Anthony loosened the clamp again, and Ian felt the warmth continuing to enter his body. He continued to try to massage away the dull ache of cramps, as he felt his stomach slowly begin to expand from the amount of liquid he'd taken. "Stop!" He choked out again. He wasn't supposed to ask how much, but he was desperate to know. He felt like he'd taken half already, but he knew it was probably more like a quarter of the bag. "Anthony?" he asked, voice close to cracking. Anthony." His voice was weak. "You're doing great, baby." The boy leaned down, letting soft kisses feather along Ian's lower back. "So good." The tears were starting to build up. Ian could feel them in his chest, waiting there, another ache in his body. He let his head fall forward, trying to slow his breathing to focus on Anthony's fingers instead of the liquid inside him. "Okay," he whispered, voice cracking as the first tears slid down his cheeks. The flow continued, and Anthony slowed the flow without a say-so after 5 minutes or so. "You're taking it so well, Ian," he cooed. "You've got half." He usually didn't tell Ian how much he'd taken, but it had been a while since they had done this, and he didn't want the boy to break before he managed to get both quarts in. "Half?" Ian asked, voice timid, as if he wasn't sure, as if he should be relieved or disconcerted. "Mm-hmm." Anthony leaned forward, letting his lips kiss the back of Ian's neck, then between the boy's shoulder blades. "Are you ready for more?" When Ian hesitated. "Are you ready for more?" When Ian hesitated, Anthony squeezed his hip. "You can take it, baby. You've done this before." Ian's head nodded a fraction of an inch. His breathing already labored. He gave a small squeak as the milk started slipping into his body again. "Please, please, I can't." He shook his head, the tears coming out for real now. Anthony clamped the nozzle again. "I can't, Anthony, please. I need to. Please." The younger boy reached his hand down to Ian's stomach, the curve of a belly that wasn't there usually. "I know you can take this," he said, voice low, but not angry or disappointed. "I know you can, Ian." He let their fingertips brush. "But I won't make you," he added. "It's up to you." Give it a second, because I don't think this is the end of the story. Just give me 1 second. Okay. What? Alright, so I don't think that was the whole story, but but I've read it before, and yeah, that wasn't the whole story. I'm sorry about that, guys. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this Fiction Friday. I'm gonna go run in the toilet now.